One of the deepest wounds isn't what others did to you. It's the moment that you stop trusting yourself, your instincts, your choices, your inner voice. And if you've ever felt unsure about your path, your decisions, or even yourself, then this video is for you. Stay with me because learning to trust yourself again changes everything. Welcome to Life Journey with Leone, a space for gentle healing, emotional honesty, and learning how to come back home to yourself. So how does self-trust break? Self-trust doesn't disappear overnight. It happens slowly through self-criticism, listening more to the outside voices than to your own inner knowing, and letting circumstances shape your belief in yourself. It could be through some big trauma that's happened. It could be through childhood experience. Some people have not trusted themselves, and I'm one of those where I really always take other people's opinions higher than my own. And that is where you may have begun doubting your own judgment. And to a large degree, I have always doubted my own judgment. You're wondering if you're capable. Are you strong enough or wise enough to decide what is best for your life? And if faced through disappointment, something happened, you got divorced, somebody let you down, you were in a job and something happened in your job. But it fades through your disappointments, through self-doubt. Self-doubt is a huge thing. And I think a lot of people suffers from that. Let's call it what it is. I suffer from self-doubt. I'll be the first to admit that. And it's through moments where you ignored yourself just to survive. You were in a job, you needed to get where you needed to go, you needed to do what you needed to do. You were in a marriage, you were in family, friendships. But you didn't fail yourself. You adapted to survive in the environment that you were in. But the problem is that whenever you keep trying to succeed in the outside, you always you always lose a little bit of you because you're so focused on just trying to keep everything together, of trying to make everybody happy, that you start losing you by letting go or putting yourself second the whole time. You start doubting yourself. You start questioning yourself. So why would trusting yourself feel so scary now? Because trusting yourself, again, is going to feel risky. And you might ask yourself, am I making the right decision? Is this going to work out for me? Do I really know what I'm doing? Maybe it's in a career, you've gone for an interview and you're sitting there and you're going, well, should I take this job or should I take that job? What is the right way for me to go? You want to move house, but is moving house the right thing? And, is this going to work out? Unfortunately in life, and this is just life, we don't know for certain. And the other day at work, we were actually all chatting about it, and we were actually talking about decisions that we'd made earlier on in our careers, where we'd chosen path A versus path B. And would we have been better off today if we'd chosen the other path? You don't know. You make the best decision that you can with the knowledge that you have at that time. But the biggest thing with that is you've got to trust yourself. You've got to know and say to yourself, you know what? This is what I have right now. And am I making the right decision? Is it going to work out for me? Do I really know what I'm doing? But you've got to trust yourself. And then what we do is we then start looking for validation from others. Yes, this is what I want. This sounds fantastic. That house is beautiful. You meet people, you make friendships, and people disappoint you. Let's face it, they're on their path. Everybody's walking a path, okay? But then you start looking for validation from others, but you want them to tell you that what you're doing is right. Yet no one understands your inner world the way you do. But the problem is that if you take their opinion over yours, and what you've got to understand is they don't know your inner world. You go back into the cycle where you are giving up you because you are believing that other people's validation is more important and their confirmation is more important than what your gut feels right for you. And that is so important because you will know for yourself whether it feels right or not. And sometimes it's a bit of a gray area. You kind of sit there and you go, well, it doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't feel great. So, is it wrong or is it right? And then you kind of get to the point that because you trusted yourself once and it felt painful when things didn't work out as you'd hoped, or people let you down, or you were disappointed, you kind of wonder if maybe going with everybody else's opinion isn't more important. But mistrusting yourself is not protection, it's exhaustion. And the only way back to yourself is through trust. Gently, patiently, which a lot of us don't have, and honestly. And that is the most important. Everybody makes mistakes. Yes, maybe we did choose the wrong thing. But trust is built quietly. Trust doesn't come from big life-changing decisions. It comes from your small daily ones. It comes from listening to your body and honoring your no. If you feel it's wrong, then say no. It's choosing rest when you need it. Maybe sometimes you need to take a step back, breathe and say, okay, I don't need to make this decision right now. I can maybe make it a bit later. But every small moment of self-alignment strengthens your relationship with yourself. Even when you second guess yourself, you can softly say, I choose to trust myself today. And that is enough. And you're allowed to go slowly. You don't need certainty. Yes, we love certainty, but that's not how life works. You're not going to get a map that says this is how it's going to be. So you don't need certainty. What you do need is patience and kindness with yourself. And I've said it in other videos that I've put on the channel, and you can go have a look and see. Kindness with yourself is the key. And I'm speaking from experience, because if there was one person that really is not kind to themselves, is me. It's taken me a long time to the point where I actually really am kind to myself. Where if you make a mistake, you can say, well, I made a mistake. And healing is a process. It's not a destination. You don't start healing and then reach the end and say, oh, okay, great, now we're done. Healing is a continuous process, whether it be from childhood, from, as I said, a big trauma, something huge that happened in your life. And rebuilding trust takes time. And I have had to learn this myself. I've had to. How to treat myself with the same compassion that I offer to others. And that is the biggest thing. We can give so much space and so much allowance to people, but you give it to yourself. I don't. The person I'm hardest on has always been myself. And that is something that I'm really learning to change. So when you breathe, slow down and allow your heart to lead again. You will begin to feel lighter. You will begin to feel more grounded. And you will learn to be more yourself and to trust yourself. Healing doesn't rush trust. It invites it. So your inner voice was never gone. It was simply drowned out by fear and noise. Your inner wisdom needs quiet to be heard. And the more you soften and listen inward, the more your guidance returns. It's still there waiting for you. Every day, trust yourself a little bit. And as trust begins to return, something unexpected often happens. Life starts to feel calmer, quieter, and more peaceful. And sometimes that peace can be uncomfortable. So in the next video, we'll explore why peace can feel unfamiliar when you've lived in a survival mode for so long, and how to gently allow yourself to live from calm and not fear. If this message helped you, stay with me. This is your healing journey, and you don't have to walk it alone. See you next week.